Advanced drivetrain maintenance for an Etha3. First thing we need to do is remove the drivetrain, lift up the back cap, slide out the drivetrain, and then start cleaning the outside and removing the can and bolt. Place that to one side. Wipe the grease off the bolt guide. You can see there are flats on the bolt guide so that you can use a spanner to unscrew the bolt guide from the valve body. Unscrew that, you can remove the spool, the bolt guide, spring guide and spring. Inside here now we just have the switch assembly. Use something long to hook inside, switch, pull the switch out. One more piece inside there is the plunger that holds the back cap in place. You remove just by tapping on the table. The back cap can now be removed. Those are all the parts of the drivetrain. Just go through, clean those, clean the old grease off, any dirt or debris that can build up on these parts. And then we can start to rebuild the drivetrain. Cleaned all the old grease off, start to rebuild. You don't want to over lubricate anything, only requires a small amount of grease on each of the dynamic seals and surfaces. Don't forget the number 17 O-ring on the inside of the can. The O-rings just run a small amount of grease around all the O-rings. And then start to rebuild and slide back cap through there. The more difficult thing is to get the plunger inside here. Push that down into place, and the switch can slide in. Switch in place. Now take the spool, the spring guide, drop those in. Then take the bolt guide. This O-ring at the back here is just an anti-vibration O-ring, just stop the bolt guide coming unscrewed, so it doesn't need any grease on that. And just slide that in. Fasten that up. It's very important that the bolt guide is tight up against the valve body. So you can work this backwards and forwards until you feel the bolt guide stop metal on metal valve body. Do the last couple of O-rings here on the front of the bolt guide, and then we can put the can and bolt back together. Just make sure there's a small amount of grease around valve body seals and the external can seals. This just help it slide back into the body without damaging the O-rings. Now put the drivetrain back into the body. Make sure the cap is in the raised position, slide it all the way in, push cap back down, and that's your advanced maintenance of the Etha3 drivetrain.